Hey, what's going on? Bill DeWeese here from voiceoverrevolution.com with the things. I have a hard time holding up these three fingers. My pinky wants to pull out when I do that. So I have to say the three things that may be keeping you from sounding and performing like a professional voiceover talent. After having coached hundreds and hundreds of voiceover students, I have noticed three things that tend to appear over and over and over again that I want to share with you to help you get on the right path to winning more auditions and getting more work and getting paid more as a voiceover talent. But first of all, let me paint a picture for you to give you an idea of really the process of what it takes to get hired. To get hired by somebody, when someone hears your audition, they have to believe you. What does that mean? Believing somebody doesn't mean that you sound so good. You can never sound good enough to be believed. It's not about how great you sound, how articulate you are. That's not what generates belief. Emotion is what generates belief. If you want somebody to believe you, you have to make them feel something. You have to be able to make some sort of emotion resonate with them. Now, the only way that happens, again, you can never speak or talk well enough to make somebody feel something. The key to doing that is you have to feel it first. If you feel it, they'll feel it. If they feel it, then they believe you. If they believe you, your chance of getting hired just rose exponentially. Make sense? Okay, well, that sounds all well and good, but exactly how does that work out technically as I sit behind the microphone? Well, three things that could be keeping you from helping to your clients to feel the emotion, to believe you, to hire you. They are speed, projection, and emotional intensity. The first two are more technical in nature. The last obviously deals more with the internal, the way you feel and the intensity that you bring to the read. So let's talk about this. Most voiceover talent, especially newer voiceover talent, tend to operate in an area about this wide. And imagine this as your emotional spectrum. And so when you're reading a script, regardless of whether it's for a grocery store or for a car dealership or a funeral home, or I'm trying to give you very, very different examples, they tend to operate in this range here where it feels very comfortable. And they may feel like they're expressing themselves differently, but they're really not. It's the same read over and over and over again. And the problem is this: as human beings, our emotional spectrum is not like this. It's more like way out here, because we all feel joy. We feel peace on occasion. We feel happy. We feel excited. We feel sad. We feel despair. We feel confident. We feel insecure. We feel excited. We feel bored and restless. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. As human beings, we experience the full spectrum of emotion. Your voiceover work and your demo should showcase different aspects of your personality. And that is the first thing that I notice, especially in newer talent and sometimes even more experienced talent. And even in a lot of demos I hear, it's just like, if I only knew what I knew about you from the demo, I would know very little. And when I listen to your demo, I need to know a lot about you. I need to feel like I've really experienced a broad spectrum of your personality and your emotions. So, first of all, we start with speed. Here's my advice. Slow down. Slow down. I rarely ever have to tell a person to speed up, because most people read too fast. They read typically much faster than they communicate one-to-one. Now, that's not to say that there are some scripts, some projects which require a faster read. But as a rule of thumb, take your time. Allow the story to unfold. Most better paying commercials are not meant to squeeze 45 seconds of copy into a 30-second time slot. They're meant to breathe, to allow you to have a chance to interpret and to express what needs to be expressed, to allow the audience to absorb and feel and understand what needs to be felt and understood. So one of the first things I would tell you, and perhaps the most important, is just slow down. Because when you slow down, that actually, it covers a multitude of sins. It helps to correct a lot of bad things that you do because you tend to speed read, again, as a rule of thumb. The next thing is voice projection. Most people, when operating out of presenter mode, which most people do just by default, subconsciously, unconsciously, they we'll be talking, and I'll be coaching them. We'll have a conversation, and it'll sound like this. And as soon as they begin to read, their voice goes up like this, and they project to the back of the room, and they go into presenter mode. And usually they don't even realize they've done this. Again, it's a human reaction to a microphone. So just begin to develop an awareness of this and practice when it's appropriate with the script. If it's a more intimate setting, a more one-on-one type of conversation, don't project it out, because if you and I were standing together and I was talking like this to you, you would say, what the heck are you doing? Who are you talking to? Because I'm not speaking to you like a human being. And by simply learning how to pull back, if you slow down by 50% and project by 50% of what you're used to, that in and of itself would greatly increase your range as a voiceover talent. So understand that it's not always speaking to the back of the room. Sometimes you need to almost whisper. Sometimes it's appropriate to make people, instead of pushing out to them, make them lean in to hear what you have to say. And that's usually much more effective. And again, it varies from script to script. But again, as human beings, we operate in different contexts throughout the day. And we don't always speak in one tone of voice, regardless of where the person's at, what proximity they are, or where we're at, or what we're talking about. Okay, so that's the second. The third and final thing is emotional intensity. And this is so important, because this is where you make a connection with the listener. This is where you truly create believability. I'm putting a link in the description below to a demo I've produced for a client that will give you a good example of some emotional diversity within the demo. You'll hear the first cut of the demo is a voiceover for a hospital. And it's very serious, and it's talking about the importance of time, when you need medical attention quickly. So it's soft, but there's an intensity to it. There's also a Disney commercial, which calls for excitement and enthusiasm and just about everything in between. So you listen to that as an example of how you can begin to express the broad variety, all of the colors of the rainbow of your personality and of the way you express yourself within different contexts. But by focusing on the speed of your read, the projection of your read, and the emotional intensity of your read, you can take what now might be 1, 2, or 3 basic read styles and turn that into 10, 20, 30, because that's how diverse you are as a human being. Your demo should also reflect that as well. And if you need help with that, you're looking to have a new demo produced or a demo produced, maybe you're getting started and you want some coaching with that to understand and learn how to do that, just drop me an email at voiceoverexpert@gmail.com and just put demo in the subject line, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Hey, I wish you great success. So this week, focus on your speed, on your projection, and your emotional intensity. And let me know in the comments below what difference it makes in your voiceover business. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you'll like it, you'll share it, you'll subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.